me.
Hey everyone, that's Elliot.
That's Wes.
And this is In Between Two Nerds, the show where we talk about all the movies that we nerds care about.
All of them.
All of them. And so this video just going to start out with something pretty basic. Going to run down our list of all the superhero, sci-fi, and fantasy kind of movies that came out in 2017. Elliot, you want to start us off with number 10?
We had some highs and lows, and
Definitely.
Number 10 was kind of a low. Justice League.
But they did it. You made our list.
You made the list. Good job. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. My man.
But it was still number 10.
That's a good way to put it. If you have time, you should watch this movie just solely for Batman and Wonder Woman, Ben Affleck.
And maybe Batman.
Yeah, Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot really knock it out of the park with these characters. Not that the other one... Like we were saying, the characters all did a great job. Everyone kind of really stands out and owns the role that they have in the movie.
Yeah.
The plot, though, that's where it kind of gets a little iffy. It felt like a Frankenstein of like 3 or 4 different kinds of movies. Do you have any more thoughts on that?
It felt like an episode of a Justice League cartoon, which is not a bad thing. Those were like a great show, but in a movie, I was expecting like a little bit more. I'm glad, though, it wasn't like horribly long.
No.
Like it was short enough that I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I'd watch it again.
Yeah, definitely would watch it again. Actually have watched it again. You made a good point there. It's the shortest of all of the DCEU movies. So, like I said, if you have time, definitely worth checking it out.
Better than Suicide Squad.
Much better. Way better. Leagues better.
Justice League's better.
All right, and so
number 9.
Number 9 on our list is a sequel that definitely takes a little bit dip down, but still a roaring good time. That was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The standouts for me in this one were definitely Rocket and Yondu. I felt like they had a really good arc in the movie. Not to mention they got a lot of good laughs out of those characters as well.
Yeah, they laughed a lot in that movie.
That's something that is honestly that's a weird point to bring up. The characters laugh a lot in this movie. Like they want you to want to think it's funny. 60% of the time it was funny, but there's some jokes that don't land as much as the others, and you're just kind of like, why are these people laughing?
Why is this happening?
Yeah.
So I watched this one twice, and I liked it better the second time, but I think it was mainly just because, like, I liked the first one so much. I was like, oh, well, I know this was, like, an average movie, so my expectations weren't too high. But then when I watched it again, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, actually, that was a good time.
Definitely a really good movie. Worth checking out and a lot of fun. And the soundtrack, just as the first one, really, really good soundtrack.
Yeah, I took that soundtrack to Alaska. It's the only thing I had downloaded on my phone. So whenever I listen to the songs, it reminds me of Alaska.
You heard it here. Mountain music is the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 soundtrack. Yeah. Number 8, definitely a special movie for a lot of people. Came out this year. Wonder Woman. Really,
I haven't seen that.
I've seen it. Definitely made a huge impact this year. It was a really good story. Was really good. Just gonna keep describing that as good because that's what it was. Gal Gadot really stands out as Wonder Woman. Really takes the role. Now that she's been the character for a few movies, I really couldn't see any other actress playing her. She really took it upon herself and led the charge with that one.
Yeah, she settled in nicely. I think she owns that one now.
Yeah, she's got it wrapped up for sure.
I will say, even though I haven't seen it, everybody who has seen it has told me that it was a pretty good movie. And so coming from this new DC empire that's trying to start, it's really nice to know that they did make a good movie. So it's like, it's not like
you're on the right track. And even though, like we talked about, Justice League had a few issues, Wonder Woman was definitely the best part of that, and I can't wait for the sequel.
Yeah.
Number 7, another movie Elliot has not seen that falls into the realm of sci-fi and fantasy is War for the Planet of the Apes. Now, there's one reason why everyone on planet Earth should see this movie, and that's Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis has been doing fantastic motion capture picture stuff since Gollum, really.
Yeah.
And so this basically...
Wait, who was it? He was Gollum?
Gollum.
He was Smaug.
Smaug... No,
whoa.
Smaug was Benedict Cumberbatch.
Snoke,
yeah.
sorry. Anyways, he was good in that movie, and I haven't even seen it. I just know he was good because I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
I love the first 2 movies, though, so I don't know why I haven't seen this one yet. Honestly,
yeah, really
I don't
should
know
watch the movies after this. No, so this one definitely a lot more character-driven, and even though it's titled War, there really isn't a whole lot of war in it. Spoiler.
Oh, really?
But Andy Serkis, again, he just makes these movies so much better. These movies wouldn't exist without Andy Serkis, so good on for him. And yeah, go see Planet of the Apes.
Oh man, so I have to do number 6.
Yeah, so
Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Number 6 falls in at number 6, which for some of you who may know us might surprise you. One of us likes this movie.
One of us did not.
We'll let you decide later on. We'll probably make a whole nother video just discussing our thoughts on the Star Wars movie that came out this year.
Just know it came in at number 6.
Yeah. What we can say that we did agree on, but it's pretty obvious. Special effects were phenomenal.
It looked good.
Probably the best looking, one of the best looking movies of the year, technically speaking. The score was great. The music was fantastic. Music. John Williams does it again.
Gave me the feels.
Right. We'll just kind of leave it there. So we'll talk a lot more about that in upcoming videos.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing. Never mind. Yeah, we can go on.
Number 5, a movie that really surprised me this year, the Lego Batman movie. Every time they release a Lego movie, I'm worried that it's going to be like a commercial of some kind, but that was not the case at all with the Lego Batman movie.
And I think still to this day on Rotten Tomatoes, isn't it the highest
it's
rated
one of
Batman
the highest
movie of all time?
Yeah, personally, it's like my second favorite Batman movie. So yeah, it comes in before the Tim Burton Batman movie, Fight Me. There's just a lot of things that this movie does right that really surprised me, and a lot of it was little things like they got Billy D. Williams to actually come back and voice Two-Face when he actually played the role of Harvey Dent. Yeah, in the original Tim Burton Batman. Yeah. Another thing they did, there's a lot of jokes in this movie, and it's just rapid fire, but they make you laugh. Like you're gonna laugh at this movie. And I didn't really get tired of it. It's really good, yeah.
The thing I loved about it, too, was there was so much stuff that was, like, for not only for kids, but the humor had to do with, like, Batman lore.
Right.
Like, that part when Alfred was like, oh, you went through this in 19 whatever.
You go through similar phases in 2016 and 2012 and 2008 and 2005 and 1997 and 1995 and 1992 and 1989 and that weird one in 1966.
Batman... This breaks the tier. I think top 5 are movies that not only you should see, you should probably own at some point, but that's just my opinion. So.
Yeah, I need to own it.
Yeah. Number 4 on the list, another really big surprising movie is Thor Ragnarok. Third time's a charm definitely with these Thor movies. The first 2, while they're not garbage, they're not really worth rewatching in my opinion.
I watched the first one a couple times.
Yeah.
Second one I watched once, and I was like, okay, so there's another Infinity Stone.
They
That's
don't
all we needed.
stand out or stick with you, especially in the slew of MCU movies. But when you get to this one, it just stands out. Like, there's no way I can forget this movie.
I liked Odin in the first one.
Yeah.
He was like, I take from you your power.
Yeah.
I, Odin, all Father, cast you out!
Yeah, that's like the whole thing. Like anything with Thor in the first one, you kind of remember. The second one is almost completely forgettable.
Yeah.
Now you have this third one where not only do you have Thor running around on this great space adventure, really, you also have Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, really getting a lot of time to stand out on his own.
Yeah, I liked that Hulk was in it. Oh, Hulk could talk now.
Yes,
because Hulk was like his own character in the cartoons,
right?
And now he can talk. Well, in the comics, for that matter, too. I have a Daredevil comic, and he fought Hulk for a minute, and he could talk.
Yeah,
and like now Hulk is his own character finally, and so
there's something in the other movies that kind of like not that they developed Bruce Banner's character a lot. This one actually gave Hulk sometime to
Yeah,
shine
for
as
sure.
Hulk. So again, really left a smile on my face for sure, and one that
I liked it.
we should definitely pick up.
All right.
Number 3 is a movie that Elliot has not seen yet, but it was super, super exciting to see for me. Something that I didn't think I would be this excited about at the start of the year. But now that I've seen it, I'm really hoping that more movies kind of go in this direction. And that's Blade Runner 2049. The story is paced so well in this movie. All the actors, including Harrison Ford, do a phenomenal job. He comes back. He doesn't shoehorn anything in. He plays an exceptional role as Deckard.
We're being hunted. By who?
Ford does an exceptional job in the movie. So does Ryan Gosling. The director, Denis Villeneuve, has done a lot of good movies in the past couple of years. Arrival was one that came out last year, and the year before that, Sicario. If you haven't seen those movies, definitely go check them out.
Arrival was a very good sci-fi movie.
Right. So, talking about the science fiction elements of these movies, Blade Runner has been near and dear to a lot of people's hearts for a long time. I recently just kind of started getting into it, and it's been pretty fascinating to kind of learn more about it. And what this movie does takes something that was released back in the 80s and really just expands on it and grows the lore more without, just throwing fan quips and service out through the whole movie. It's really its own thing. You can see this movie on its own without watching the original Blade Runner. I suggest watching the first Blade Runner just because you'll get more out of it. But again, really, really solid movie. One of my favorites of the year.
Number 2, SpiderMan Homecoming.
This movie,
So good.
changes the game for
It was
sure.
so good.
Because for the longest time, it felt like a long time because we had the last good Spider-Man movie came out in 2004, and that was Spider-Man 2. Now, Spider-Man 3 was just a dumpster fire. It was horrible.
It was rough. It had some good meme potential.
Right. Tom Holland basically becoming what Spider-Man should be and getting to see that on screen. Another great part of this was the fact that this is not an origin story. It's Spider-Man. Peter Parker. He's learning how to become Spider-Man and do that better, but we don't have to sit through the same old storyline of, great power comes great responsibility, Uncle Ben dying, but we've seen that a million times. And it's something that Batman and Spider-Man movies have fallen into time and time again whenever they're made.
That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
Batman and Spider-Man, pretty sure even if you're not a fan of
you know
superheroes,
what's going on. So they cut that out.
You know
it's great that I'm really happy they cut that out. So Spider-Man Homecoming, number 2, really made an impression on a lot of people, and I can't wait to see him in Infinity War.
Number 1,
one of the best superhero sci-fi fantasy movies of the year
ever.
And one of the best movies of the year, if not the best. Logan. This freaking movie.
So good.
Yeah.
I could write a
Essays,
very large essay and presentation about why this movie is probably one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion. It's definitely my top 5, period. Top 5 movies ever.
If you're getting superhero movie fatigue or kind of tired of it, even though it's become, its own genre basically in the past 10 years, 12 years, Logan will shatter that for you.
Yeah, with the X-Men. That's been going on forever. And, I watched them a long time ago, and I was like, okay, I'm watching them just to watch them. They're superheroes. But I was, never really invested in Wolverine or any of those characters. And personal confession time, I never told you this.
Oh my gosh.
When I first saw the trailer for Logan, I was like, are you kidding me? Another one?
You're a dick.
I don't think I've ever been more wrong in
your
my
life.
entire life. That was such a good movie.
Yeah, and the Hugh Jackman just over time just the way he has grown with this role, he gets it better and better. Even if the movies aren't necessarily big hits with you over, the X-Men franchise.
Yeah.
Logan hits it on all cylinders, really, from the direction to the cinematography, all the technical stuff that make a good movie. This was a great movie. And you have Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart giving, like, the best roles
they have.
of these characters that we've really ever seen. So.
Logan, you still have time.
This really makes you feel for the character a lot. Again, a lot of things in common with these top few movies have is they're very character driven.
Yeah.
The movies kind of at the bottom, not that they're bad or don't have good characters, but when you get to focus on somebody and you really relate and feel to that character, and it just makes it feel more real, even though we're in this realm of sci-fi and superheroes, you relate immediately and you latch onto him, especially being a fan for so long with these movies. He's played this character for 17 years now, and so we've literally grown up with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and so Logan was just the icing on the cake, and it came out pretty early in the year. So for it to sustain, its rewatchability throughout the whole year is fantastic. Not to mention that when that was released on DVD and Blu-ray, it came out with a black and white version of the film, which is just fantastic.
It's good.
Yeah, if you've seen Logan already, I highly recommend going back and watching it in black and white because it really, again, it just testifies more to the technical elements of how this is really and truly a great film.
When we watched it again, we were joking. You could pause it in black and white at any moment in the movie, and it would make like an artistic photo.
Yeah, you could hang pretty much every frame of that
every frame of the movie on your wall.
And it would look fantastic.
That's a good idea.
That's a really good idea.
I should do that.
Yeah. And that's where we'll leave you with that. Thank you for watching, and don't worry about liking or subscribing. What we really want to see are your comments to get the conversation, debates, and discussion flowing. So thank you all for watching. This has been In Between Two Nerds.